Am I the asshole? For telling my DIL she wasn't invited due to her weight. We have done plenty of things that are not physically taxing with her, but even the small stuff, she ends up on a bench half the day. We went to a small mall, half the day on the bench. It was window shopping. She is obese, her ankles are swollen from her weight. The connection between her weight and not walking far without a break is very obvious. Post. I will try to keep this short. I have 3 girls and we still like to do girl trips for the day. My son got married to a girl named Beth. Now, before her first kids she was average weight, and after it got a lot worse. Her only kid is 8 years old at this point and she hasn't lost the weight. It's bad enough that she needs constant breaks walking. I used to like her and now I don't due to how she acts. Everywhere we go with her it is constant complaining that she is tired. The last girls' trip to the mall was spent sitting on a bench half the day since she needed constant break. If you try to leave she will go on about abandoning her. It's annoying. I invited the girls to go to a farm for pumpkin patch and pick some apples. It has big orchards and a ton of walking. We went, it was a great time and some pictures went on Facebook. I got a call from Beth asking why she wasn't invited. I lied saying it was just a family trip and she accused me of lying. I had enough and told her the truth. I told her she wasn't invited due her weight. That she forces us to stop all the time and it ruins the trips most days since we don't get to do half the stuff. She called me a jerk and hung up. I am getting texts from my son saying to apologize, but the girls are on my side and are sick of having trips ruined since we have to wait for her all the time. I'm not as small as I used to be. If I know there is a lot of walking in an activity I am being invited on, I decline and say, you know, my knees are just not up to it. She needs to use her own common sense. Mill calls and invites her to do a 5-mile hike. She knows she can't do it. Say maybe next time we can do something. Mill calls and says we are going to the mall for lunch and window shop. Say sure, that's great, I will join you for lunch, and then leave. You know I'm not much for walking the mall. Not the asshole. There needs to be balance. Beth needs to bow out of things that are too physically taxing for her. Use mobility aids so that she doesn't hold up the entire group and not complain when others opt not to spend most of the activity time waiting on her. When you do include her on things, hopefully you choose things that don't require much walking, and when you do need to leave her, don't cave to her whining. Tell her you love her and you'll meet back up in 20 minutes or rotate who gets to sit with her. I think her attitude more than her weight is going to keep her excluded. And I hope her 8-year-old isn't being left out too. Not the asshole, but I would have explained nicer. Maybe frame it like you are looking out for her. Sorry, didn't think you'd want to do all that waking. Last time we walked a lot, you needed lots of rest and complained the whole time. That leaves it open for her to realize her own shortcomings. And if she says she wants to go, you say okay, but we aren't taking a bunch of breaks. Are sick of having trips ruined since we have to wait for her all the time. At the risk of being called fatphobic, good for you. Not the asshole. Why should your trips revolve around her? Why should you be forced to plan outings that are within your DIL's step limit? Finally, you're free to only invite your actual daughters to things, too. You aren't blocking her from any and all family gatherings. She just got blocked from this one, which I hope is the first of many trips you and your daughters have been putting off for her sake. Get out there and see the world. It's lovely. I'm overweight and I completely see Op's point. Whenever we go anywhere, I spend most of the time either sitting on a bench, in a cafe, or in the car, depending on where we go. I just read ebooks while I wait. I like to go on trips with the family, but I don't mind being abandoned. In fact, I prefer it, rather than thinking I'm spoiling it for them. Not the asshole. It's not because of her weight, it's because of her inability to keep up. Not the asshole, but got to explain it better. Info: do you invite her to girls' days that don't involve a lot of walking? Not the asshole. She insists on going to all events, then complains and won't let anyone go on without her to keep having fun. If she was the least bit considerate about it and tried to compromise, I'd change my vote, but since she's not and just wants everyone to suffer with her, not the asshole. ESH. The problem isn't her size per se, it's her fitness. If it is size itself, you are the R. But what you complain about is that she can't fully participate and holds you back. Fat people can be physically active. Instead of telling her that her lack of fitness was the issue, you focused on her size. This was both hurtful and inaccurate unless you have been dishonest about your reasons, with us and possibly yourself. And DIL was a bit over the top, probably because you hit a sore spot. Nadar. You are free to invite who you want for whatever reason. This isn't about her weight, it's about her making the trips about her and refusing to let you have a good time because of her FOMO. She's the one who needs to address her inability to be good company on the daughter trips. If that means she needs to lose weight, fine, but your issue isn't with her weight, it's with her being an absolute energy suck and spoil sport. Clarify that to your son and DIL. ETA not the asshole. Op is kind of a weight snob. She states that her son's wife was average weight before they had kids, but after the kids, it got worse. Not, it got bad, it got worse. Implies that she already thought average weight was bad. Finally, you're free to only invite your actual daughters to things, too. Finally, an excuse to be free of this fake family member is tripping over possibly the only way to be the asshole here. It is because she whines and complains and wants everyone to be limited like she is. All she would have to do is be pleasant and set it up so she takes breaks and meets up with the rest of you later. It is not about her limitations, it is about her demanding that no one else gets to go at their own pace. I have physical limitations and try my hardest not to temper others' activity when I can't do things. It is possible, in fact it is a lot more fun. I've learned to do more sedate things places so I enjoy myself too. Here's the thing, I don't think you actually have an issue with her weight, this is really about how she acts. If you had first told her it was about how she acts she likely would have blamed it on her weight and still said that you were being fatphobic, which is never okay, but again not what I think that you're doing. You're not the asshole, but I think the relationship with her and your son won't improve until she is ready to own how she acts and have a conversation about it. So I'm not going to give a judgment, but going to say that that level of fatigue isn't normal and it's worth considering an underlying medical condition. I'm considered obese 40-42 BMI and live a very sedentary life in addition to a chronic pain disease, but I can go for a day in a pumpkin patch and apple orchard without having to sit down, much less walking around a mall. What is your end game here? You're ready to blow up your relationship with your son because you're unwilling to accept his wife how she is. So now you're going to start excluding her. You think she will ever want to spend another moment with your family? You're not exactly wrong, but you are an asshole for sure. Not the asshole. Lots of people saying OP should have said something about stamina, not weight. In the moment it's tough to pick all the perfect words to avoid Reddit cleverness, but the rest of the convo included that her weight stopped her from doing things, which made it pretty clear it's not 'cause DIL is unattractive for weight, her weight is stopping her fitness. You're the asshole for making it about her weight. You actually don't know what is causing her fatigue, and plenty of fat people can run all over the place. I'm thin and almost all of my fat friends are in much better shape than I am because I have a chronic pain disease. It would have been absolutely fine to say that you were planning on walking around a lot and you wanted to be able to do that without frequent stops. No need to mention her weight for any reason at all. Not the asshole. 3 don't need to be involved in all of them, especially if they can't handle the outing. You're the asshole. You should have told her the problem was her attitude and whining, not her weight, since that's the real issue. You were deliberately hurtful for no reason. ESH. I understand that long periods of physical activity can be uncomfortable for you. Sometimes we are happy to wait. Other times, we plan a very busy day. This was going to be a busy day and we did not want to have to sit down or rest for long.